Hi guys, today we're going to talk about 12 foods you should not refrigerate and why it is so. When it comes to foods, our first instinct is to usually refrigerate them so they can stay longer, but that is not always the case. In our day, refrigeration has become a substantial practice in every kitchen and household, and it goes a long way in preserving our foods and supposedly maintain its quality. But despite this popular belief, refrigerating certain foods can actually change its quality and not in a good way. It can reduce the nutritional quality or accelerate its spoiling process, and that is why I am bringing you this information so we know how to go about our foods. There are many foods, but I'm going to talk about 12 of them, which are the most common ones, which is around us. And the first food you should not refrigerate are onions. Onions should not be stored in the refrigerator, whether as a whole or chopped. Onions rely on warmer climate and depend on clear open air circulation to keep them fresh. If stored in the fridge, the colder temperature accelerates its spoiling process and also reduces its quality. And at most, it should be stored in the refrigerator not more than 48 hours if you want to maintain its high quality. And strangely, you should keep onions away from potatoes as they can speed onions spoiling process or aging process. So make sure they are kept at a distance and neither in the fridge with tomatoes. That will take me to the second food, and that is potatoes. Potatoes are very versatile, but they should never be stored or placed in the fridge. The cold temperatures can break down the starches in them, change the taste and texture. For optimal temperature or storage, place in a dry space to keep them fresh. Number 3 is the tomatoes. The quality in terms of the texture can change depending on how you store tomatoes. If you put them in the fridge, they become mealy. That is, they lose their flavor and the good texture, and they are no longer juicy and pleasant. And I'm sure you have experienced this bland, dry, gritty taste of a tomato after being in the fridge for a long time. A day in the fridge is okay, but instead store them on the counter at room temperature for 1 to 2 days. If you keep them more longer, then they can spoil. The next food is garlic. If you want your garlic to sprout early, then putting them in the fridge will take care of that for you. And I tried that and I saw my garlic sprout. It also will attract mold on the skin and within the inner layers of the balls. It is better to keep them somewhere dry and warm. The next food you should not put in the refrigerator are the melons. Melons do best outside the fridge. Once refrigerated, they tend to break down and become powdery and green, which means they have picked some bacteria and the flavor may be lost. For the flavor to be intact, it needs to be stored at room temperature. However, after cutting, you should store them in the fridge for 3 to 4 days. That will take me to the sixth food, and that is bananas. It is a tropical food, so it is safe to say that bananas do not benefit from the cooler temperature of the fridge. The cold temperature can actually have the reverse effect by turning them black quicker, that is, accelerating their ripening process. When buying bananas, be sure to catch them before they are ripe so they can mature at room temperature in your kitchen. That will take us to the seventh food, and that is the oils. Pretty much all oils are safe to store at room temperature and not in the fridge. If the oil has a lower saturated fat like the sunflower oils or the safflower oil, it will benefit from being kept cool, so store in a dark cabinet or in the fridge door. The only ones you may refrigerate are the nut-based oils. Number 8 is the cucumbers. It is a common mistake. Storing cucumbers in the fridge will make them watery and pitted, an indication of chill injury leading to decay faster. If you do choose to store them in the fridge, it is better to wrap them in a plastic to minimize the moisture. Number 9 are the chocolates. The fridge is the worst place for your bar or box of chocolate. The temperature and moisture of the fridge can tamper with the taste, color, and then texture. Chocolate, specifically the cocoa butter, absorb smelling of surrounding foods, so it is best kept away from other odorous foods. Instead, protect it in a cool, dry place in an airtight container if you've already broken into it. That will take us to number 10, and that is honey. A very versatile natural sweetener with a seemingly never-ending shelf life, but it should never be stored in the fridge. The colder temperatures alter the chemical makeup and cause it to crystallize, so storing your honey in a cool, warm, dry place will have no bad effect. Number 11 is butter. You see, there's nothing worse than trying to spread rock hard butter. It is very frustrating. because the batter has hardened up due to the cold temperature of the fridge. And depending on the temperatures, you can store batter on the counter, covered for a week or so. And storing batter in the fridge doesn't affect its quality. It only makes it hard for spreading. So if you don't want that, then don't store your batter in the refrigerator. And lastly, we have the citrus fruits like the grapefruits, the orange, and the limes. They are great examples of food that do not need refrigeration. It is best preserved in a basket in a well ventilated space. So this brings us to the end of our discussion, the 12 foods you should not refrigerate and why it is so. Leave a comment below, like and share this video, and I'll see you in the next video. Hey, always remember that God wants you healthy. Your health, your life. Thanks for watching, and God bless you.